Hey people, how y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of No Sellouts. I'm your host, Tim Black. And today, I'm very happy to bring on a guest who I've been trying to get on for a while. It's like we've been playing like calendar, like who's got dates or who's got schedules free. It's none other than comedian Graham Elwood. Give it up for Graham, y'all.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on the show, Tim. I appreciate you bringing me on, and I'm glad we got to do this.
No doubt, man. Like I said, man, it's been a long time in the making, bro. I love what you do, man. You funny, you on point, you got the right value system, man. It's just great, man. So I'm glad you made time, brother. I want to say, I want to say a shout out. You're back.
Oh, is that
There,
better?
you're here. Yeah. That's better, man. We got you.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, I'm in this.
Yeah, man. Look, we catch it. Graham's a hard-working brother, man. He's got like a lot of jobs and a lot of gigs, so like he's moving around, keeping it fresh, man. Hey, Graham, man. I was in Ohio and I was in Pittsburgh over the weekend, man, doing comedy with Lee Camp. So I feel like, man, I look up to you, man. I admire your comedic genius, brother. And when I was in Ohio, I met a lot of Ohio Green Party member people, right? And they told me, they hit me early this morning, like 1 a.m., and they were telling me that Facebook has been censoring them, not just regular censorship, but it's stopping them from running political ads. And this is sort of like that Zuckerberg thing when he went to testify before Congress. So it's going to be tough for some of our folks in midterms, man. Have you heard about this?
I'm sorry, I cut out. I can't.
You can't hear me?
It's like the audio cuts in and out. Like I hear, like it's
Yeah.
like.
Let's see. Hey guys, are you getting good audio over there? They're sharing it. I haven't had any no comments so far. Hey Cindy or Chris or Mark, if you can hear Graham, let me know. Or if you can't hear him, let me know. It's like something on his side, I think, because he looks good over here. I don't know if you can hear me, Graham.
Dude.
Yeah. Something's wacky.
It's so like I could like it's like spotty and I can't hear everything you're asking me. I feel bad. I'm trying to figure out my Wi-Fi says I got a great signal.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if anybody. He is good, but there is a huge delay on his end. Oh, audio is good on this end, but there's a delay. Candy says she can hear us both. Ed Higgins says he's good, but there's a huge delay on his end. Steve Wolfenbrad said audio is good on this end. Margarita says hearing you both. I think it's just Tim is loud and clear. Graham keeps cutting out. And Cindy says she can hear us both. See, this is like, I thought the stars lined up and we were going to be able to do this.
Oh, now it's working.
There it is. Look at that. There we go. There we go. What's up, man?
We're not going to be denied. I know the deep state doesn't want us to talk, but we're going to talk.
That's right, man. That's right. Look, man, so political vigilante. Let me ask you what that's about. Tell the people before something bad happens.
Before the NSA interrupts us.
Right.
So I've always been a huge superhero fan and I like Batman. So I initially was going to call the show The Church of Batman, but then I did for like the first couple of weeks. And then someone was like, well, if your show gets big, Warner Brothers is going to have something to say about it. So I figured I'll leave that alone. I was inspired actually. So Jimmy Dore has been a longtime friend of mine. And I was on his show a month or so after the election in 2016. And I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. And I was just like, I was promoting this movie I had directed and I was just going to come on to do his podcast. He's like, yeah, come out. And then I'm at his place and his garage has turned into a studio. And he's like, we just got 100-some thousand subscribers. And I was like, what? And then I saw what he was doing. And he said, Graham, you should tell your story. I lost my house because of bank policies that Bush and Obama did. And it was I just felt like, and I was so frustrated with the whole system that I was like, I gotta start talking about this, and I personally need to pay more attention to what's going on politically. Like I felt like I was mad at myself. Like I voted for Obama twice, and then I just sort of like, oh, we got it, and I didn't pay enough attention, and I felt, pretty disappointed and let down. And like when he started drone striking everybody, I was mad, but I didn't speak out about it. And I was like, that I had that attitude. Well, he's my guy. I voted for him, and he's a little better than the Republicans, so I won't be as hard on him because I voted for him. And I just saw the error of my ways when I saw what the Democratic Party did to Bernie in the primary.
Right, right. I hear you, man. Hey, look. At least you're honest about it. I mean, I was in the same boat. I mean, I voted for Obama in '08, and then I kind of in 2012, man, I didn't vote. I didn't know what to do, man. Like I was really disappointed because I thought he was going to change some shit, and it seemed like it was getting worse, man. But what I like about what you just said is that obviously you're somebody who recognizes that Trump's not the only problem we got in politics.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing that like drives me crazy. Is just like everyone's acting like the neoliberals act like everything was great until he showed up, and it's like, what do you think happened in the like? No, none of the banks were prosecuted by Bush or Obama. I mean, he deported 2 million people. He dropped 26,171 rockets in 2016 alone. I mean, you're trying to tell me everything was great? I mean, what are you talking about? Like 5.2 million foreclosures. I mean, Standing Rock happened under Obama, Ferguson. I mean, on down the line. It all, Flint, Michigan, which is still has contaminated water.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I just can't do this, lesser to evil thing. And I heard for 8 years under Bush, oh, anyone but Bush, just anyone but Bush. And what did that get us? Look where we're at.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it got. In fact, your situation is you described it. The issues with your home, man. It's like you live in testament that things weren't so good under Obama. That a lot of people ended up in that situation. And what pisses me off, brother, is I'm trying to wake up people who were like, vote blue anywho, vote Obama, and they still, brother, to this day will not admit, all the failures that happened under Obama because of some allegiance or some shit, man. So. That's like my fight, man. Just to wake people up and stop worrying about parties.
Well, that's the thing, and it's the thing we all kind of have to do as independent progressive media people. Is that like we all got to? For me, like I look at how I woke up. Who woke me up? I was always an independent. I always, I never aligned with the parties, but definitely I very leaned left. I typically would vote either third party or Democrat, and I think that's the key is, a good friend of mine, John Updike, that runs the open primaries, right? And he has been fighting as an independent. And he was telling me years ago, he's like, man, the Clintons aren't that great,
Right.
And he was like, Graham, we gotta wake a lot of this stuff up. And so when people, and I talk a lot about this when on my show on the weekends, I do what I call like either a super chat Saturday or super chat Sunday for political vigilante. And we all kind of have these discussions. And I'm like, and some people I say, well, how do I live in a red state, or all my friends are neoliberals or whatever. And I go, wake them up with the facts. And the thing is, they want us divided. They want us red state, blue state. They want that divided because if we all got together and went, wait a minute, the 1% is fucking all of us, then that's what they can't. That's why they have to divide us. Because then if we all get together, it's over for them.
Man, it's so on point, man. So refreshing. And it's like we all speak the same language. Like, I know you probably haven't heard my catchphrase, sprinkle some facts on them, but that's exactly what you're talking about. Sprinkle some facts on them, man. And just give them a little bit of information. Like me, I don't try to convince somebody in one sitting. Like I don't think I'm, I'm that Cornel West, right? So I'll just tell them something like, hey, man, the DNC stole the election in 2016. They cheated Bernie, and I'll walk away. And they'll be like, what? What is he talking about? And then later on, I'll tell them something like, hey, man, Obama dropped over 26,000 bombs in his first year. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
And I just walk away. So, and then it's like planting a seed, Graham, because people, if you tell them everything, they're overloaded and they get defensive, man. Have you noticed this?
Yeah. I think that's a great point, man. You just that's a great strategy too, is to just plant some seeds. Cause I look back and that's what people did for me. They planted some seeds. I didn't just switch that way. And they kept planting seeds. And then when people tell me, well, Graham, we got to stop, arguing over the 16's over. We got to all hands on deck. We got to stop Trump. And I go, well, what got us here? Because if we don't address this, then guess what? So we impeach Trump, and then what? Pence shows up. Oh, and great. So he just electrocutes the gay out of people. Is that, we think that's gonna? I mean, and in some ways, Pence scares me more because he'll be more pleasant. He won't tweet offensive stuff, but he'll still be doing all this crazy stuff. And some of his stuff is even crazier because the evangelicals are,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're no joke. So
yeah, Pence is probably more efficient as well. He'll probably get more shit done, more bad shit done than Trump can.
And no one will resist it.
Yeah, because it'll have the right, it'll be dressed right with the right tie, and he'll be on message, Yeah, absolutely.
He won't say anything offensive. He won't say anything offensive. He won't say anything sexist. He won't have lunch with a woman because he's a weirdo, but like he won't, he'll be nice, he'll be polite, he'll be stately, and everyone will go, oh yay, we're back, we're good.
And that's what happened with Obama. Man, to that point, there's an article that was put out today by Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's a writer for The Atlantic, and it was about Kanye West. And he was taking Kanye West to task for Kanye saying he would support Trump. Now, just for the record, I'm not a Trump supporter. I did not vote for Trump. I voted for Jill Stein. I felt like that was the only move I could make after Bernie was robbed. And my problem with the article, brother, just to put it simple, just to kind of put it in a nutshell for you, Graham, is that a lot of things he said, I agree with that Trump has done, his policies suck, but a lot of his policies are continuation from Obama policies. So if you're going to write this great essay that everybody's kissing his ass over, but he's not going to put in that, 1,000 words, that, it was bad under Obama, and you're just going to be mad at Kanye for supporting Trump. You should also be mad at neoliberals for supporting Obama, because deportation king, like you said, drone king. These things were horrible, right?
Yep. That's such an excellent point, because what that does, that's the thing, I think, going back to what you were saying about planting the seeds, is we got to plant the seeds on people to realize that Trump is just the ugliest version of what Obama did, what Bush did, what Clinton did, what the first Bush did, and what Reagan. This is like, it's really something that people really need to wake up to, that fact that this is, like I go, Obama would never call poor third world countries shitholes. He just bombed the shit out. That's all he did.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
And I tweeted once, I said the difference between Trump's drone strikes and Obama's is Obama's had a rainbow flag on him.
Yeah.
And someone got really, they said, that's offensive to the gay community. And I go, okay. I got a lot of friends that are gay, and if the gay community's offended, I go, do you think the people in Yemen who are parents of the 130 kids that die every day, where do you think they're on the scale of offended of my rainbow flag joke and a drone strike? Where do you think they land?
Yeah.
And I just asked that question, like, If you think what I'm saying is I'm mocking the gay community, you are missing everything that I just told you. You are missing what America is doing. I'm not mocking the gay community with that joke. I'm showing you the ridiculousness that there's a difference between the two parties. If you're getting hit with a drone strike, you don't care how nice or vulgar the president that okayed its tweets are. You know, you don't care because you just had your home blown up. You just lost your children. And so, like, I don't think Americans, they get all bent out of shape over some stupid crap Trump tweets. And I don't like him at all. He's offensive. He's got racist Klan. I mean, he's given the Klan life. I mean, that's scary. But we've been blowing up the Middle East for how long now? I mean, like, we've spent how many trillions of dollars on this global war on terror? You think it'd be done by now after $5 trillion?
Yeah. You would think so, man. Back to your statement about, the gay community. Yeah, like Obama gave, the Marriage Act, right? The Equality Marriage Act, I think it was called. I forget the name of the title. But, okay, so he legalized gay marriage. Oh, great. But people lost their homes.
Yeah.
So you're married, but you don't have a home now. So, like, it's like give you a little sugar, sugar cookie, and then, like, hit you in the head with a baseball bat. And it's supposed to be okay because that looked good on the outside, like the exterior looked good. Oh, he cares about us. Meanwhile, same thing with the Native Americans. I know you're doing some great work. You're working on some stuff for them. But we talked about Standing Rock. He was the one who said, "Hey, I'm gonna stand with you." And when it was time to stand, he sort of like he did like window dressing because he had to, brother. And to me, that's disingenuous and it's crooked.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great point, the cookie and the baseball bat. And then after I smack your head with a baseball bat, you should be grateful I gave you that cookie. You know what I'm saying? That attitude drives me crazy.
Right.
Like, and doing the show. So I've been directing the show, the First Nations Comedy Experience, and it's the first ever Native American stand-up TV series, right? Long time coming. And I've had 49 comics on the show. If you don't know what FNX is, go to fnx.org. New episodes every Friday. But, I have some comics who've come on the show who are like, hey, man, Obama let Standing Rock happen. And he did that because the corporations own politics. I mean, Tiger Swan was hired by Energy Transfer Partners Tiger Swan is a military
Blackwater type shit, right?
Yeah, man, triple canopy. And like, that's who we used on our own citizens. I mean, we just bombed Syria for alleged chemical weapons attack. We shot tear gas and water cannons at people protesting on their ancestral lands. And then I'm supposed to just go, oh, thank you for gay marriage. I'm glad he passed gay marriage, Obama. I was proud of that. I have friends of mine. It was a big deal. But like you say, then I can't then just take that and then pretend that Standing Rock didn't happen, that the drone strikes didn't happen, that the foreclosures didn't happen. Like, I'm sick of that. Like, people always say lesser of two evils. I go, okay, they're still evil.
Yeah, still evil, man. It's horrific, man. I mean, I think that your work, what you're doing, those comedians, I love to check that out on FNX, man. That sounds very interesting, brother. I mean, I've met a lot of Native American folks for my coverage on, No Dapple, you know what I mean? And they hit me up and we try to stay in touch and abreast, man. That's great stuff, man. But yeah, man, I totally agree with you, man. If you're gonna say you stand for something, you got to stand for it. And I think when Obama was using like this Jedi mind trick on, particularly the black community, Graham, he was like, if you don't vote for Hillary, I take it as a personal insult. Well, shit, the fact that you're asking me to vote for a continuation of your bullshit policies, I take that as a personal insult. How about that?
I think that's a great point. And it's funny because Hillary then sort of took that same tactic and went, well, I'm with her. So if you're a woman, if you don't vote for Obama, you must, all black people have to vote for him. All women have to vote for Hillary. And if you're not black or a woman and you don't vote for either one of them, well, you must hate black people and hate women.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that Hillary said. If you don't vote for, I'm with her, was so offensive. So I was like, let me see if I got this right. I lost my home. I live in a rent control. I got to pay my own health insurance. I went through bankruptcy and foreclosure. You don't have my back. I have to get the back of a rich white lady. So just so I got this right, I have to get her back. I have to be with her. And it's just that whole tactic of the identity politics of the Democratic Party.
Spot on, man.
They don't have a policy. They don't have anything. They should be for workers' rights. They should. And Hillary Clinton said single-payer health care and college tuition were ponies. They were pie in the sky.
Yeah, that's what she said, man. Incrementalism. That'll get them excited. That'll get the kids. That'll get them, energized and at the polls. And when it didn't happen, and dude, I can't think of a worse campaign slogan than "I'm with her." I mean, hey, look, man, like we keep having to say it because if we don't, they say we're Trump supporters. But man, I can't think of a worse slogan than "I'm with her." I mean, "Make America Great Again." At least is aspirational. I mean, at least it's about about the country. Her slogan was just about her, and she wasn't that exciting to begin with. No one was excited about her. I don't know if I lost you, Graham.
Oh, yeah, it froze up for just a quick second.
Cool. But yeah, all I was saying was her slogan sucked ass. Basically, it was a horrible slogan. The "I'm with her" slogan, and I don't know who thought that up. What mastermind? Like who came up with that slogan? I mean, that was a loser slogan if there ever was one. I mean, just as much as if you're gonna blame Susan Sarandon, if you're gonna blame Jill Stein, you got to blame the guys who wrote "I'm with her" because that's garbage. That's.
"I'm with her" was so misguided because they just thought, okay, we're going to lock up the female vote and only white males are going to vote for, some white males are going to vote for Trump, right? And what was so faulty about that was, and then they went, look what they put against her in the primary. She didn't run against one single other woman or a person of color. It was all older white dudes, because next to older white dudes, oh wow, she's diverse. That's diversity. The minute you put a person of color or another woman next to her, you see her for who she really is, which is a privileged, rich white woman. And so they had to show her as the diversity and the female, and it was so offensive. I know so many women that voted for Bernie and then later Jill Stein who were so offended by that. Like, I have to vote for her because I'm a woman, and and they just assume the arrogance of the Democratic Party. You have to vote for us. Yeah. That's it. I know we screwed you over in the primary, but we own your vote. We don't have to campaign for it. We don't have to give you any policies that mean anything. We just say we're not them. That's all they got.
That's it. We're not the other guy. Used to see the other guy. You think we're corrupt? Used to see the other guys, and people didn't come out and vote. I mean, what do you expect? Speaking of voting, man, the 2018 midterms are here, man. I know you were telling me about a candidate in California that you wanted to talk about. Who was that?
So Allison Hartson is running against Dianne Feinstein, and she is part of. She's endorsed by the Justice Democrats, and she's endorsed by Wolfpack. And she is a former teacher, and she's a real progressive, and she's trying to unseat Dianne Feinstein. And so the primary here in California is June 5th. I think voting by mail just opened up. So she's someone you should look into, because what California does, for those of you who don't know, it does the top two system in the primary. Mm. So the top two vote getters go off in the general. So and Dianne Feinstein has been, I don't know, 30 years, and
forever.
And she supports the defense budget, and she's just this classic corporate Democrat. I remember during the Mike Pompeo confirmation hearings, not this recent one when he got his first confirmation. Her Twitter feed was all like, "We're against torture. Mike Pompeo, you supported torture." It was all Mr. Trump. How dare you put a guy that's in favor of Trump? That was her Twitter feed. She voted for Pompeo. That's how they roll.
That's horrible, man.
And so
they're not even hiding it, Graham. It's not even.
No, they just put it on Twitter because they know you're probably not going to go to cabinetvotes.org and see. That's what they're hoping for. You know, that you won't go there. You'll just see the Twitter feed and go, yeah, Feinstein's resisting Trump. Yay, she's one of us. No, she's not. No, she voted down single payer health care in the state of California last year. She gets money from defense contractors. She's not a progressive in any way, shape, or form. And Allison Hartson is, and she's someone that I personally am going to vote for. And I think people in California need to get Dianne Feinstein out of there. And I think, go research Allison Hartson. Go to her website and look what she stands for. See if she lines up with your progressive views, and get Feinstein out of there.
Hey, man, you made a strong recommendation for her, man. I hope people go check her out. I mean, while we still got time, and we definitely need Dianne Feinstein out. I mean, she's been there. She's been in office since we had, phone booths and like video stores, video rental stores that you actually walk into. Like she's a relic, man. She had flip phones, the pagers. She's pagers time,
the yellow pages. You know what I mean? When you had to go to the yellow pages.
Right. Part of everything that's wrong, man. Yeah, man. I mean, okay, so I got a candidate as well I like to plug. Her name is Paula Swearingen. She's running in West Virginia. She's running against Democrat name only Joe Manchin. And when I say that, I mean the Democrats who actually care about people, who actually do support unions. So like Paula Swearingen, same thing, progressive values, clean water, jobs, education, the core principles, the core tenets of progressivism, which is, all those great things, man. And she definitely hates Pompeo, and she thinks he's a warmonger. So, yeah, that's who I like to plug, man. West Virginia. And actually, they vote tomorrow. So if there's anybody watching in West Virginia, I just drove through West Virginia yesterday. I was tired, but I marveled at the homes. I marveled at the greenery. Go out and vote for Paula Swearingen and get rid of Joe Manchin.
Yeah. Joe Manchin, man, he is he is a Democrat in name only. He is the most Republican Democrat I've ever seen, second only to Hillary Clinton. And I'm glad there's a real progressive going up against him, because everything I've heard from him, I talked to this woman who has a YouTube show called Redneckonomics, and she lives in West Virginia and reports from there. And she's told me she does a lot of stuff about he's in league with the pipelines, he's in league with the coal. He's in league with all of them. So I'm glad someone's going up against him. So yeah, I hope they vote him out.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we need more challenges, man. And I think this. I know I saw Jimmy had interviewed. He did a clip on it, and he was saying how Joe Manchin was like, yeah, well, if you don't like me voting the way I vote, well, just primary me, then just primary, get me out of there. And then when he saw he was getting primary, he signed like this letter or agreement that Democrats wouldn't primary one another. So he's a scumbag, man. Jimmy called him a glass jaw pussy, I think. I don't know, something like that. So I don't know, man. Wow. But comedy, man. Let me jump to this, man. Comedy and progressive or politics. I heard that you on a comedy tour, man. I'm envious of it in a good way, because I'm doing some stuff now. I'm trying to get busy in that arena. What are you doing, and what's this thing about you doing?
So yeah, Ron Placone and I are doing a progressive comedy tour, and if we do one on the East Coast, dude, we got to get you on it. So we're doing Wednesday, May 9th this week in Tempe, Arizona, Thursday, May 10th in Lake Havasu, Friday, the 11th in Vegas, and Saturday, May 12th in San Diego. If you go to grahamelwood.com, you'll see all my tour dates. If you live in those areas, come out, because we're going to be doing, Ron and I are both progressives. He's on Jimmy Dore a lot, as am I. And there's a lot of making fun of both parties and whole show isn't all progressive. It'll just be regular stand-up as well, but we're each doing our stand-up acts, but there's a lot of progressive comedy in there that's hard to do sometimes in LA because there's so many neoliberals here. But yeah, come out, go to grahamelwood.com. We're doing more shows in June. We're coming through like Tennessee and North Carolina and Atlanta in June. So we'll be releasing more dates.
And that's what's up, man. And look, give a clap for that, because that's needed, man. That's so needed. And I get you where, you do regular comedy, but you bring the politics in it as well. That's what I do too. And people, there's a thirst for it, man. Graham, there are people, man, they show up. Some of them are tears in their eyes, brother. I know you know about this, because it's like, they like, you get it, like they're woke. And I know that's a catchphrase now, but these people pay attention. They don't just sit around watching freaking MSNBC and listen to Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes lie to them. They dig deeper, so it's great, man.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I think that's why we decided to do this tour, because I've done some Jimmy Dore shows live, and the audience reaction is just, they're so, like you say, they're just like, because I think sometimes when you're a progressive, you're just at home reading the news or making your videos or watching other videos, and you feel like you're crazy. Like sometimes I feel like I'm fucking crazy. I just make my YouTube show and everyone tells me I'm nuts. And then you go out to a live show and you meet other people and you're like, yes, we're down. Like, I get it. You get it. And you actually, you realize, oh no, we're not alone. There are way more progressives out there than we think, that we're told, and then there is stuff we can laugh about. Like, we got to find some humor in this, because it can get pretty dark, dude. I'm sure you cover story after story. And sometimes I'm just like,
yeah, brother. Yeah. I mean, in fact, Graham, I started off not in politics, but on social issues. And that gets very dire quick. I mean, it gets very solemn. I mean, if you're covering shootings and, violence and all this stuff, I mean, yeah, I needed therapy behind that stuff, man, I felt, So that's kind of sort of why I gravitated to comedy, man, just to take the load off, man, because gosh, I mean, every time you turn around, which another thing, I don't mean to hit on Obama all show, but there were a lot of shootings, a lot of cop shootings under Obama. Like, I think the records were set under Obama, and I don't know why people, like, when they write, they don't include that. Like, I'm not saying the president's responsible for what goes on in every city, but what I'm saying is, yeah, that did happen under him, and I didn't see legislation that came across the executive orders. He had the pen, Graham. That fucker had the pen, and I didn't see him like Trump. Trump's good with the pen, Graham. Like, I hate the stuff he's writing, but he's writing.
I know.
But when I had my first black president in there, Graham, he wasn't writing for that. He was writing for banks and shit like that.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like you say, like Ferguson happened, and hey, that shit was going down well before Obama got there. But you thought, first ever black president, black attorney general, you think they would have said, okay, and we're going to pass all, and they talked about it, and you heard police reform, but they didn't, like you say, he didn't get the pen out and go, I'm changing this, I'm changing that, I'm changing this. No, man. And then he gets out of office, and his first gig is talking to a bank. And then everyone's like, oh, how dare you criticize him? How dare I criticize him? I lost my house. How dare I criticize him?
Yeah. He should have moved you in. Or something. They got space in the White House, that creepy ass house. There's probably ghosts in there, man. Ghosts of lies gone by, and ghosts of
all the people that have been bombed by us, their ghosts come in from Cambodia and Laos, from Nixon and everyone else. It's just like,
brother, I'm trying to tell you, man. And my thing about it is, I still get criticized for coming at them. But dude, if the Democratic Party, if they're not going to do anything for you, then you need to keep don't vote for them, man. You can't vote for people if they're not going to do anything for you. You can't just vote for them because forget social pressure, man. We need some social solutions. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, we're the richest country in the history of the world, and everyone acts like, oh, we're some poor little, we can't figure this out. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe don't be one of the 5 Democrats that voted that signed off an extra $80 billion to Trump's war machine last fall. Elizabeth Warren was one of them. Tim Kaine was one of them. Don't give me this resistance bullshit. you're just feeding the machine. Like, I don't want to hear it. And this whole like lesser of two evils, I'm like, where else in America would we accept that? It's like, do you ever see a car commercial where Chevy's like, oh, the all new Chevy Malibu, not as shitty as the Ford Taurus. I'm just like, and everyone needs to demand it. And it's like everyone just kind of goes, oh well, I know the system's broken, and I know it's designed to make you disengaged. It doesn't want you involved. It wants you like, I don't have the time. It's all bullshit. But if everyone got involved more, then there would be monumental changes.
I believe it too, man. I believe it. You know, somebody on my Twitter feed, I'm not going to say her name. I was promoting, I'm talking about the 2018 midterms and stuff, and she says, we shouldn't vote until they fix the election process. That's it. We shouldn't even partake. We should, and I told her that I want to get your opinion on it. I think we could do both. Like, we can't just bow out and be like, okay, until you fix it, I'm not voting. I think we need to work both ends. So that's the way I look at it. I mean, I think we got to overwhelm them. That's something Lee Camp says. We just gotta carpet bomb them with votes. That's the only way it's going to come out fair. What's your opinion on that, man? I think I know, but I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree that not voting is a solution. I don't agree with that. I think the system is broken. It is broken. It is designed. It doesn't want you engaged. But I understand. Look, there's a 13-hour window to vote for president on a Tuesday. Every other major country has elections on a weekend. I get all of that. Only a handful of states have voting by mail or early voting. I understand, and that's by design. But I think you have to get involved and vote. And I think what if everybody started voting in all these third-party candidates? What would happen? You know what I mean? What if we got libertarian and independent, democratic socialist, a green? What if that started happening? And I always say a political vigilante, I go start local. I go vote these people in, your school board, your city council, your county officials, your state officials, and work them up the ladder. And those are, because part of the problem is Americans only show up to vote every 4 years for president. Like midterms are traditionally very few people show up. The midterm primary, oh come on. So this is like an opportunity, I think, because I don't think apathy or not engaging, look what it's gotten us thus far. So I just don't think that's worked, and I think it's by design to keep us disengaged. So I've had some friends too that say, oh, I'm checking out. And I go, you gotta, there's ballot measures. There's people to vote in. Like I don't view voting for Jill Stein was a waste, because they tracked how many people voted, and they went, wow, she got, her and Gary Johnson got a lot of votes, and people paid attention to that. And I think just this, I'm only voting unless I can win, my candidate can win. I think that's a short-sighted idea.
Well, I agree with you. But look, guys, I know Graham. I just met Graham, but I'm pretty sure Graham understands your frustration. Like, he gets it. Like, it's messed up. It's screwed up. We get that. But it's like, but what if we bow out, then they just win. They just walk through. I can't have them just walk all over us without a fight. Like, I got to stay in a fight. But I understand the frustration. We get that part of it. Just don't let it consume you, man. We can't bow out, man. I can't give them I can't give them a free run at the basket, Graham. Like, I gotta try to stop them.
Hey man, I grew up in Chicago, and someone's getting a hard foul, I'm sorry, man. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Somebody's getting hack-a-shack. Something's happening.
Yeah, you got to go to the stripe and shoot it. You got to show me you can shoot. I'm sorry, I'll take my 6 foul and sit, but you're getting it.
My brother, I love it, man. Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Like, is there anything on your mind? Like, I mean, okay, Joy Reid, this is good. Let's do a lightning round, man. When you think about Joy Reid and those supposedly hacked website that actually happened to be mirrored at the Library of Congress. Somebody went back in time and hacked their website. What do you think about that? Should she have lost her job, or what's your feeling?
I think she should lose her job just based on the fact that she's a she's a mouthpiece for the corporate war machine. You know what I mean? I think she should lose her job just off of that. She's all about. She should have lost her job when Nina Turner wasn't allowed to speak at the 2016 convention. Where was her outrage? You know what I'm saying? Like, where was her outrage? She's all like, oh, okay, you're a black woman, and another black woman was told she couldn't talk at a Democratic convention, and you had nothing to say about it. Huh? That's curious to me.
And they're friends too. Like they're cool with each other, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? How could you be cool with that? But it's like, Joy really doesn't have power. She's just a hack. She's got a job. She's got to do what masters say do. She's just got to go up there and lie to people and give people the false idea that she's actually fighting for them when she's not. She's fighting to keep that money coming in is what she's doing, Graham. And that's what she's doing, bro.
It's professional wrestling. And Joanne Reed is the black woman wrestler, and Rachel Maddow is the lesbian feminist wrestler, and Sean Hannity is the white guy conservative wrestler. They're just all wrestling characters,
Right.
And they're all just all you got to. And people say, "Oh, I go watch who buys ad time during their show." That'll tell you who's telling them what to say. Oh, and why is Boeing needs to buy ad time on MSNBC? Are they selling fighter jets for the average American family?
Yeah.
Like, what? Do I need a Tomahawk missile from them?
Yeah. We gonna all pool our money and buy F-57. I don't know what the hell it. Yeah, a fighter jet. That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna buy food. We're gonna pool our money as a community here in Maryland and buy a plane from Boeing.
Yeah.
Parking would suck, by the way.
Yeah.
You think parking's bad now in California? Buy one of those Boeings, bro. Now, next one, Ed Schultz. Ed Schultz recently came out and he said that one of the reasons why he was forced out of MSNBC is that he wanted to cover Bernie Sanders. Imagine that, a reporter wanting to actually report. A journalist actually want to do journalism. I don't know if you heard about this, but what are your thoughts about MSNBC showing him the door after trying to interview Bernie Sanders because he was running for president?
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I remember during the primary when the big media, Bernie Sanders was talking and they cut away from Bernie Sanders to go to an empty podium for Donald Trump.
Damn.
I mean, and, they gave Trump billions of dollars of free advertising, and, Trump, and every day, oh, Trump said this, the media treats Trump just like some dumb Kardashian or whatever, like some celebrity did something stupid. So I just can't get on board with any of their bullshit. I mean, I just can't even, when I barely pay attention to what they're saying and doing. And I know who they are. I know what they're saying. They might have 15 to maybe 20% of their stories and coverage are worth a damn, and everything else.
Yeah. Next. Oh, before I go to the next one, what you said about the billions of dollars of free ad or free coverage for Trump. Why? Well, it's not a question. I guess it'll be a statement. It's kind of amazing how they don't bring that up, the neoliberals, when they talk about Susan Sarandon and Jill Stein and, they blame them for Hillary losing. Why don't they blame the media for giving Trump all that damn free coverage? Like, that's right there. They'll blame 13 Russians who put ads on Facebook, but they forget the billions of dollars. So they don't even want to win. Not really, if it means upsetting the apple cart, bro.
No. I mean, the blaming Jill Stein, I always say it's like blaming World War II on Belgium. It's really like, I mean, the little old Green Party, I mean, really, if the Green Party was so big and bad, wouldn't someone of them have won? I mean, they would have won something. Hillary Clinton raised $1.5 billion. And what did Jill Stein raise? 10 million, I mean, that's nothing in a presidential campaign.
$300,000 in a box of crayons.
Yeah.
and some hope. And I voted for her, and I love her, and she's a great person. And John Mubarak is my guest tomorrow. I'm going to plug that. He's my guest tomorrow. He was her running mate, vice presidential nominee for the Green Party. But yeah, man, let's keep it real, man. Come on. It's like, damn, like she didn't have any of the purse strings that Hillary had, nowhere near it. Next one, Stormy Daniels was on SNL yesterday. What are your thoughts?
Man, it's just it's like, I mean, I haven't followed that Stormy Daniels thing because I just am like, this is today's distraction from whatever bombing or oil deal or something, or we all should worry about Stormy Daniels. Meanwhile, Iran, the minute they say they're getting off of the dollar and going to the euro, all of a sudden Netanyahu has evidence of WMDs. Like, it's just,
yeah.
Gaddafi went off the dollar. Look what happened to him. Saddam went off the dollar. Look what happened to him. So, I mean, until Stormy Daniels stops using the dollar, it really doesn't matter.
Right. And the same thing with Syria. As soon as it looked like Assad was going to defeat ISIS and everything was cool and we were, everything looks like he was winning the war. Oh, let me go ahead and chemically attack my own people and let us attack him before we're able to verify that he attacked his own people.
Yeah. Well, we just sent $120 million of rockets based on, and a quote, this is a quote from the New York Times, an alleged gas attack. Well, we use chemical weapons against our own people at riots at Standing Rock, Black Lives Matter riots, Ferguson. We've used them anywhere there's been police, any sort of violence. The police always say, the protesters got violent, which is usually rare. They usually incite the violence, or there's one or two people being violent, so that gives the police a green light. We use tear gas on them. I mean, Chelsea Manning said right after the Syria attack, why are we going to, is Syria and Russia going to bomb, and I forget the two cities that have chemical weapons plants in America?
I didn't hear that one. That's a good one.
I mean, are they going to bomb Flint, Michigan because it's contaminating its own citizens?
There it is. Hot. It's hot, man. Graham, man, you are as fun to talk to as I knew you would be, brother. We done our time, man. Tell people where to go to follow you, what to do to get some earbuds love, man.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me on the show. And we got to set up a time for you to be on Political Vigilante, because this was awesome. It's great to connect, dude, and to do this. And I appreciate you having me on the show. I go to GrahamElwood.com. That's where you can see my YouTube show, Political Vigilante. You can get links to my live shows, my documentary Earbuds, the Native Show, all of it, my social media. Just go to GrahamElwood.com, and that you can find out everything that I'm doing.
Man, I love it, man. Guys, give it up for Graham Elwood, man. He's amazing, fun, interesting, on point, knows the deal, man, and is keeping it real, man. Well, that's it for this edition of No Sellouts.